Hey guys, this is Captain Food reporting for duty, and I am in the process right now about to record some tracks in the studio, so henceforth why I am dressed this way. The studio, if you hear a little echo and things, it's still in transition. I'm redoing the floor in here, putting hardwood floor in, and then I got to put up all the new acoustical treatment, so you're going to get a little noisy there. But today I just want to talk about Behringer. Are they any good? Well, Behringer, let's be honest, there's a joke for a long time in the audio industry. People would literally use them as a joke. If you came in with Behringer gear, you were laughed at. Like, okay, it's always seen as inferior at the time, whether it be amps, microphones, pedals, whatever it was. And there's some truth to that too. All they did really much was they would reverse engineer things. So it'd be like taking their schematic, putting it on a photocopy machine, looking at what they did and build it with cheaper parts. And it showed sometimes in the quality, but over the last few years, Behringer has really upped their game. I took a break from the audio industry for around 6 years. And getting back, it was a real big introduction of a lot of changes. And I've explored that, and there's been a lot of really good and quite shocking for the price. Matter of fact, in my studio, I've always used some Behringer gear. For example, I have a patch bay here from Behringer. Works great. It's always done me well. I have one over here for my effects processors and stuff down below that's always used quite well. I have a noise gate and compressor and limiter. I will say that the compressor you have to use lightly. It's not a great compressor, but if you use it lightly, it does pretty good. But the limiter and the gate do really well on that. Matter of fact, I liked it so much I bought a second one for my office where I do scratch tracks because the computer in there is rather noisy. Other things too that I want to talk about is, for example, I have a bass V-Amp Pro rack unit here. Now, I won't say it's the best bass sounds you're ever going to get, but I will tell you, I like it for doing DI bass, and I can really dial in some nice tracks with that, with a little bit of tweaking and work. Very, very good. You know what? Before I continue on, though, I want to say thank you to these people right here. These people, without them, this channel would not be possible. So once again, thank you for your support. Also, if you want to support this channel, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you get notified of new videos. It would really help this channel as well as if you leave a comment below. On top of that, we have a Patreon and Subscribe Star. So if you want to help by contributing as low as $1 a month, you get access to additional videos, additional posts that I put up in there for Patreon and Subscribe Star supporters only, as well as audio tracks. So I have a list of audio tracks in there you can download, use them as background tracks for your videos or just something to listen to at your whim. I might even be offering a new section in there soon. Right now the audio tracks don't have vocals. I'm thinking about doing one with the vocals. Right now I can't record vocals in the studio because I haven't got the sound treatment redone for that yet, but it's on the way. Now getting back to the video. Another thing I have with Behringer is this preamp booster. It's pretty good if you want to goose it a little bit for a solo, or if you want to punch it a little bit in front of the amp to get the break up a little sooner. Nothing super special, but cheap. But another little tip and trick here, and this one I found is very helpful for people. They make these pedals, these like acoustic DI, they have a bass DI, and other ones. They're actually pretty good direct boxes. For like 20 bucks, you can get one of these or less. So if you find yourself not having a direct box and you want to be able to do like reamping and things, which you need a direct box for that. I use a Focusrite ISA1, but that thing's like a $700 unit or so. Whereas if you don't have that, you can get one of these and have a pedal with some effects, or they have their own DI boxes from Behringer that are pretty cheap as well as being quite usable. They're also known to have some interfaces now that do a pretty darn good job for a cheap bang for your buck price. Another thing that you could look at is their monitoring stations for their monitoring for headphones and speaker monitoring. I've actually been looking at some of those myself, between those and Mackies and several other ones, and the PreSonus ones. And I found they've got some pretty darn usable ones for pretty good prices. So we have that as well. Now, I wouldn't say I'd rush out and buy their monitors, don't get me wrong. They still have a lot of products that are less than wonderful, but they have a lot of useful products as well. And that's the question I want to ask you. Have you used any Behringer products? Which have you used, and were they good or were they complete crap? I've tried some microphones. I found they're okay. Nothing super spectacular it's been major bucks on. As I said, for some minor gear here and there to get some jobs done, sometimes they're pretty good. Now, I wouldn't be dropping these pedals all over. This one's actually built pretty good. The other one I showed would be refraining from dropping that anywhere they could go. I'd refrain from using their amplifiers as well. I'm not a big fan of their guitar processor as well. As I said, this one surprised me what I could do with it, but the guitar one I'd probably stay away and use something else. But there is, as I said, a lot of gear that doesn't always have to have a high price tag to be good. Because let's be honest, we only have so many dollars to spend, and gear is expensive. And sometimes we have to save up for that real expensive piece that we need. And sometimes there's some things that maybe, we may not use as much, that we could cut the cost on a little bit. Or maybe we are just getting into it and we want to test it out and see how well it goes. Matter of fact, I've heard they have some good mini processors too, and things through Behringer as well. Well, thank you for sitting back and watching this video with me. As I said, it's not a scripted video. It's more of just a relax and chat kind of video. And I thought it'd be fun to have this video with you. So thank you for spending your time with me. Until next time, keep it frugal.